Hey, ladies, welcome to another self-love conversation. My name is Gloria Ward, and tonight we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human. I just told her that I was listening to her podcast that she did. She has an amazing podcast called Marta on the Move. She is an entrepreneur and a best-selling author. And tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about journeying. We're going to talk about meditation and just a whole bunch of stuff. So, Marta, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Hello, hello.
it's so crazy because I just said to myself, let me just get a listen of the personality. And I was looking at, some of your social media and you was talking about your trip to Greece, right? And how you were, everything was going well, but you said that you couldn't, you those three seats that couldn't, be fulfilled or whatever. It made you feel a certain kind of way. But before we jump into that, just give us a little bit of your backstory and just introduce our audience to who you are.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marta Napoleone Mazzoni. I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for having me on. It's lovely to chat with you. I am a newly formed grief recovery specialist and coach, life coach, meditation guide, yoga instructor, and play facilitator. And ooh, my story, I'm like, oh, my story, I think, really began into the journey of self-discovery. It's kind of
Yep.
like a great place to just like back in '04, I had my heart broken. I and dealing with loss, so I needed to change things up. And so I did something scary. I was terrified to fly. I stepped on a plane alone and went on a tomb excavation in Sicily.
Wow.
Yeah, for like a month. I had never been
Wow.
overseas. I had never really been anywhere. And that kicked it off. That
Uh-huh.
that kicked everything off for me. Even though I didn't really know it at the time, I was just kind of in young survival mode. I was 23. I'm 41
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah, it just kept going and
Yeah.
life just kept happening.
Yeah, I was also thinking, because you have your podcast, Marta on the Move, and it is more like, from what I read, like inspired by, the loss that you experience, but also just the journey of life that you are on right now. And what we women talk about is there's always a point in our lives where we start to think like, damn, am I really living my life the way that I want to, right? Am I really doing what it is that I'm supposed to do? And when the
Mm.
challenges of life comes in our life, that's when we get our wake-up call. Do you believe, in your opinion, that we need those challenges to wake us up, or can we actually be on this journey of self-awareness and see? Because, in my opinion, you have to hit it to wake up. I don't know, but what do you think?
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
um, it's a hard question to tackle. I, people, it's hard to describe. So the new work with the grief
Yeah.
work that I do, people always ask me if I'm sad all the time.
I can
Are
imagine.
you sad all
That's
the
right.
time?
That's right. That's right.
And and I'm and I'm and I say to them, well, kinda. I
Yeah.
kinda am sad all the time, but I'm also joyous and I'm
Yeah.
also happy. And one can't exist without the other.
Hmm.
And I think that relates back to the challenges. It's,
Yep.
you have to have the yin and the yang.
That was my thing. You got to be
Yeah,
able to have the yin and the yang to figure out what life will bring to you, right? Because we don't want the challenges, Marta. We don't want the
yeah.
challenges. And I just said to myself, just, listening to you and looking around on your website, it's so funny. If I would have still been married today, and if everything would have went the way that I thought, would I really be doing what it is that I'm doing now? And the answer would be no. You know why? Because my outlook on life would have been whatever the outlook that he wanted and what I thought I wanted, right? And what we didn't understand is as time goes on, we grow and things happen. You experience sadness, you experience happiness and joy, you experience loneliness, even if you're in a house full of people. But those things are there so you could figure out what it is that you want because the only hole that's missing is you, right?
Hmm.
So when you went on your journey and you traveled at 23, what are some of the things you discovered?
Oh, I discovered that I actually enjoyed being alone.
Yes.
I, I mean, like truly, I didn't have to
Yes,
answer to anybody. I didn't have to make compromises. I discovered me. I lost myself. And, you were talking about when things happen to you, I like to call them like volcanoes that kind of happen where there's an eruption and then
right.
there's the fallout afterward. But sometimes it's not even an external thing that happens to you. It's a realization that you've done things a certain way for so long, and inside yourself you realize you kind of lost yourself,
Exactly.
right? Like, where did I go? And
Yeah.
if you're a mom, you put all that into being a mom. You
Yep.
you had kids, and now what? What? And it's it really it really allowed me to begin to find myself again and love myself for who I
Hmm.
was, and also meet people out of my bubble. I had never gone anywhere else. Just getting that fresh perspective and culture blew my mind. I was so stuck up in my, can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, you can just say shit.
Wonderful. I
Yeah.
was so I was so stuck up in my shit. You get on the hamster wheel and you spin, you spin, you spin, and there's a great big world out there. And
Absolutely.
when you see it, your stuff doesn't seem so big.
Right. Right. And just to get into the topic of grief just a little bit, it's like I think when it comes to grief kind of like wakes you up because it's more of like a now what, and then you realize just how much you put into another person or a thing or whatever, or a relationship, because grief can come in different forms, right? So to give you an example, it was when I lost my sister to a pulmonary embolism, right? I
Hmm.
I was I was totally like born again. I don't know what it was, right? But I just saw the whole picture. And I tell the women all the time, she's coming out her house to go shopping. Go shopping. She's coming out the door. She goes down the steps. She passes out. A few minutes later, she passes. Now, in her mind, she was going shopping to get some clothes to wear to church the next day. Everybody is waiting in the car for her. Did she know that that was going to happen and that was going to be the end of her life at 40 years old? No, right? So now when I get the call and, everything happens, I'm sitting up there with my hands folded, like, because, going through issues with divorce and husband and all this stuff. And it was just something that came over me, which I think grief does, where I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not, no. Why are you sitting here being sad where somebody you deeply love is not here anymore and didn't know it? All the time that you're taking, right? To put your effort into something that is not working, you start to realize, like, why am I wasting my time? Right? Because that's what grief does to you. It makes you think, and it makes you wake up about just how precious life is, right? And then you just start to see little things. And I think, like I tell people, grief is okay, but just don't stay there, right? Because it's there to help you see, in my opinion, how precious life really is, right?
So first of all, I'm so sorry for the pain
Mm,
of your loss, sisters in grief.
thank you.
I lost my sister to lymphoma, so
Mm,
it's a
okay. So you
it's
know.
a, it's a thing. I know.
Yeah.
I know that awakening.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing that I didn't know going into learning about grief is that if it's not expressed and if it's not seen and witnessed, then it festers.
Mm,
So it becomes something that we carry.
mm.
And it doesn't matter how much time has passed, if we call it like unresolved grief.
Exactly.
So we describe it as, you have like a book bag and you put like rocks in the book bag, and you know every time another something happens in your life, you put another rock in, you put another rock in, and eventually the bag is too heavy
Right.
uh, to carry. And so, yeah, it's it's a subject that I really never thought that I
Yeah,
and never
I get it.
wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. I mean,
But
it
that's
was
how it
never.
shows up.
That's
Like
how it shows up.
that's what I'm saying. And that's why I love you being here, because that's how it shows up, because you really never know what your journey is
Mm,
until you go through the challenges. So the challenges are okay, because that's how you discover who you are and your purpose. You get to see how strong you are. You get to see the areas of your fears. You get to see where you run, where you are confident. It shows everything. It shows everything. Now, as you're going through it, you say to yourself, well, you know what? I really need help with this shit, because, I don't want to stay here too long, because I do have to figure out how to live. But at the same time, like a guy told me one time, he said, Gloria, I am 63 years old, and I still remember when I was 5 years old when my mother walked out the door. And it never goes away. You just manage it. And he started tearing up, right? He started tearing up, and he's in his 60s, right? Because it becomes a stain that you can
yeah.
manage, but it's like the thorn in your flesh, so that you can go ahead and have that empathy for someone else. And guess what? You're doing that, right?
It it is a fascinating subject. I have a lot of people come to me and they talk to me about their grief, you know,
Right.
and some say, well, that was a long time ago. well, that was a long time ago. My mom
Yeah.
died when I was yada yada yada. And I ask them, and I say, do you still have things that are left unsaid?
Yeah.
Do you still, are there things that are lingering that you wish
Mm-hmm.
would have been better, more, or different?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately they all say yes.
Of course.
And it's that unresolved grief that we carry that can fester and stack
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I love this work. I love this work because it's, like I said, a lot of people ask me if I'm sad, but to me it's beautiful because it takes courage
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a lot of bravery to unpack and look
Exactly.
at all of those things and face them, because it's only through sitting with them and recognizing and acknowledging that you move through that grief to get to the beauty on the other side, to get through the
Exactly.
joy. And and what I want to tell people out there is, what I didn't know, and I had no clue, was that we are all grievers. 100% of all of us are grievers. It's
Mhm.
not it's not just because you had someone that died on you. If you have a friend that maybe just doesn't talk to you anymore, and
Exactly.
you don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
you hold that, anything that you hold in your heart as a loss. And there's over 40 different losses: divorce, a loss of childhood, a loss of safety, a loss of trust.
Hmm.
And those are all things that can be healed.
Exactly. So I'm interested though, when you're doing this work, how do you take care of yourself?
Ooh,
Because
girl.
dealing with a lot of that, right? You're
Ooh.
you're you're basically holding a space for a lot of people who have this grief. And one of the things that we have to be aware of is when we do this work, not to allow it to really come into our lives. So how do you handle that?
Oh. um, this is such an important question, because I
Mhm.
feel that there's so many options for
Mhm.
healing out there
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And for me, I mean, I pay attention to how the people that I hire take care of themselves,
yeah.
because they can bring their
Mm.
baggage
That's right.
with them.
Right.
So I have a coach myself.
Hmm.
I have a therapist. Amen. Like,
Hmm.
everybody should have a therapist.
Right.
I teach a stress relief class online. I'm a meditation guide. I have my own practice. I get massages. I go for
Good.
walks. I travel. I play with my puppy. And one of the most important things that I do, that I rediscovered in my grief, is play. And
Mm.
so I balance my work now. On one hand, people come to me for grief, for grief recovery, and that's like the muck, and
That's right.
we're digging down
Right.
deep, we're lifting all the stuff up to reveal the treasure
Hmm.
below. Um, and then I coach people on how to rediscover themselves after loss. And I do that through play. So
Right.
you listen to my last podcast,
Yes.
improv comedy,
Yep.
and those like tools, I use in a lot of what I do and how I live
Yeah.
my life. And it's so important to play,
Very,
especially as adults. We lose it.
very.
We
Yeah.
get so
Yes, we do.
serious.
Yep. Yep. And being able to open up and just enjoy yourself is so important. I tell my friends all the time, and I tell the ladies here, because you're on a self-love journey and because you're on a healing journey, it doesn't mean that you're sad all the time. That's not what that means. What it means is you become more self-aware. You know what you like and what you don't like. You set your boundaries and you have fun in that,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Mm.
You know what it is now that will trigger you or do different things. And so you figure out what makes you happy or give you that balance and you grow on that, right? I also tell people I'll get down in the well with you and I'll sit and I listen to you, but I also got my parachute on, okay? Because when it's time for me to go, I got to go because I'm not here to carry what you have. I'm here to make that space for you, right? Because that's important. Because the I like the fact that you do, meditation and yoga because that's a hard thing for me to transition to because my mind is always going. But learning how to balance and make that space but have that parachute is a big thing that I even had to learn because they will keep you there if you let them, right?
Boundaries.
Exactly.
It's learning boundaries. And I've learned a lot stepping into
Mhm.
this work of
Exactly.
my own. And you're right, Gloria. Like, um, I'm working with this one lady, and we teach the things that we ourselves want to
Right.
learn. And for me, I had to relearn my fun. What do I find fun now? I
Right.
don't know. I'm
Right.
confused. I I found,
Right.
getting drunk and going to happy hours
Yep.
in my 20s fun, but I don't really like that anymore. Am I not
Right.
fun anymore? Oh my God, I'm not fun anymore. People are going to think I'm fun. And
Right.
it's really ridiculous, right?
Hmm.
If we think about it, but it's true. Sometimes you just need a mirror or a fresh perspective to ask the right questions and be like, yo, what do you actually find fun? And do you find
Correct.
it fun because it's something you've always done?
Right.
Or do you truly gain joy and meaning
Joy
from
out
it?
of it. That's right. That's right.
It's a
I
simple
like,
practice, but man, people do
is it?
not take the time to do it.
I told another friend, she was like, well, are you okay, with being by yourself? And I said, absolutely. It is so much fun just looking up at the wall. I can do that. I could look up at the wall and sit and have a whole conversation and be okay, right? And it's because I am allowing myself to be with myself, right? I'm allowing myself to reflect on my day to see how I can make myself better. What are some of the things that I like to do? Rediscover some of the things that will make me feel a certain way. And I tell women it is okay. Even if you got kids and everything is crazy, take that little time out in the bathroom. If the
Mhm.
kids come in the bathroom, do it in the shower. And if you're right, and if
Lock
you
the
can't lock the
doors.
door, right? You need to be able to find it, especially if you're battling with different things, because nobody understands what you're going through but you, right? And the only way you're able to get that out is if they work with someone like you, if they rediscover who they are, right? And they might think it's not a big deal, but if you want to be able to stay in this cycle your whole life, then that's okay. But I don't think you want to because it's not fair to the people that you're bringing in your life because they don't know what the
Mhm.
hell is going on, right? They don't know what the
That
hell is going on.
that right there is that is the number one holdup I feel that a lot of people have. Number one, they're they're probably in a relationship and they have to answer. They have to
Right.
answer to someone else. I can't tell
Right.
you how many times a woman has told me, well, let me talk to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, they think it's selfish to do something like this. And I push back and
Yeah.
say, actually, I think it's selfish to not,
Okay.
because you're not bringing your A game to the people you love. You're not, if your cup, you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Come
Like
on,
that's the
girl.
saying.
Yep. You
You
can't.
can't.
You can't.
And, to do this work, yeah, it's okay. It's selfish, but
Mm-hmm.
it's selfish in the best way possible, because by you doing this work, you're showing up for others, for everybody that you care about and love, your children, your family, your friends,
Absolutely.
as your best self.
Come on, girl.
Oh, it kills me.
Girl.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
and,
love it.
and I didn't realize that. This is
Mhm.
something, I had to learn it too. It was like,
That's
oh,
right.
oh,
That's
oh,
right.
wow.
But you got to walk in
Mm,
it to see it. And
yeah.
and that's the thing. So, I want you to let the women know how they can connect with you. How can they, start on their journey? What are some of the things that you have? Because again, Mother's Day has just passed. You
One
still
day.
feeling the grief. Yeah, you still feeling the grief. Then we go through the holidays, then we go through this, and there's always an up and down cycle. It is time to actually figure out how you're going to put this whole thing together so that you can start to live instead of being stuck in that same way where everybody got to walk on eggshells during Thanksgiving and Christmas because mommy's not here and sister's not here, and now you have an attitude, and the kids is not sure why because grandma been gone, they never met her, but for some reason mommy gets upset, right? And looking at pictures of grandma, but they don't understand why. All they know is that they got a grandma that make mommy sad. You get what I'm saying? So it is
Hmm.
time to kind of get this under some kind of management. And I hope what it is that you do, they will be able to find that. So just let us know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say I base everything off I do off of like four pillars. Explorative travel, meditative awareness,
I love
structured
that.
support, and creative play. Because they're the
Yeah,
things that worked for me. So I would say for explorative travel, get your ass out of your
please do.
hometown. Like just get, and you don't even have to leave your hometown. Rent an Airbnb in your own hometown and just go
Yep,
stay over. Like bring a book. Go to a different coffee shop. Just mix up your routine a little bit.
yeah,
Um and that little tiny change is like it's all you need sometimes to break the cycle. Um Meditative awareness, meditation. There's apps everywhere. Insight
yep.
Timer is free. I know Calm has a subscription. I teach meditation. Like silence for that awareness is key. You have to quiet what's going up in here to get to here.
Right.
Structured support, therapy or a
Yeah,
coach,
yeah.
like or talking to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like just say what's going on and just be
Yeah.
honest about it. And then creative play, take an art class, take an improv class, draw, dance, sing, like something that just
Do
makes your
something.
heart, yeah, like something to
Pilates.
really connect with your inner child. Like just
Mm-hmm.
just get it going again.
You know what's funny, Marta, what I did is I had got finished with work early one time, and I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down to this park that I'm been meaning to go to. And when I got there, you could do different things. You could play tennis, go to the gym, do all this. So of course, me being adventurous, I said I'm gonna do the horseback riding, right? So, so I get there and it's like after school for the kids.
Oh my
So
God.
they're taking their horseback riding lessons and I'm just showing up.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just showing up. And they was like, oh, okay, you can ride or whatever, right? So I get out
Oh
there,
my God.
Marta, into the little thing. Can't get my ass up on the horse. My other leg
Magic though. That is magic.
was laughing so hard because my other leg couldn't go over the
Oh my God. I love it.
wrong with me. I was like, what is wrong?
I
And they
can
was
see
like,
it.
I was like, so, I'm not that tall. I'm only like 5.5 feet, right? So the horse is like way up here. And I'm trying, and so you know how they try to help you get on the horse and pushing you up. But I'm looking at all these little kids and they just on the horse, just going and jumping, doing jumps and stuff. And I was like, I'm getting my ass up on this horse, okay? We will make this work. And the parents is just looking at me, shaking their head, like, damn, why don't she just give it up, right? Like, I'm getting on. So when I got on the horse, I didn't realize how big a horse is. So my legs was all messed
I love this for
up.
you.
My
I
legs was
love
all
this.
messed up. So I was like, I can't even hit the horse and move because my legs are so spread out and I'm ashamed.
But it's the experience. Like
Yes, it was.
you did
So,
it. You
but
went
guess
and
what?
did it.
Be on a pony.
Oh, oh my God. No.
They get on the pony. They put me on a pony, girl, and the pony just took me around the little thing where I had to watch all the kids jumping up on horses. When I tell you, I had the best time. I laughed so
Yeah.
hard because I haven't been on a horse since I was a kid. And so just having that idea going out and having that experience, it was like the best experience. And I couldn't have my phone. I couldn't ask one of the parents to film me while I'm trying to get up on a horse, right? Because they would have got sick of not filming nothing. But
Oh,
it was great.
oh
It
my
was
God.
different. And even though I was in pain the next day, I told myself, this is what you want to be able to experience
Mm,
out of your routine. You figured out
mm.
if you like something or not, right? And you had fun, even though it was challenging. And that is what life is about, right? Just
Absolutely.
being able to figure out what it is that you love and discovering new things.
And
That's it.
trying them.
Girl, trying them.
Don't be afraid. That is what I want. I heard the best quote recently that was like a mixture of what I'm about to say, but
Yeah,
it was don't be afraid to try new things and don't be afraid to be the fool.
absolutely.
Do not be afraid to be the fool because you're gonna have
Absolutely.
moments like that, but how
I was.
beautiful
It
is the
was it was
memory, and
so
that's a
funny.
story. That's
Yeah,
we are all like our stories, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
But it was amazing. So how can we follow you? Like what are your social media handles and everything?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Marta's on the Move, and
Okay.
I am on Facebook at Marta on the Move podcast, and my website is martaonthemove.com. And I wanted to mention, is it Tuesday? I don't even know. But
Yes.
I'm like, is it Tuesday? Uh I host a stress relief class online every week at
Okay.
8:30 p.m. So if you are looking for something to shake up your routine and then also just calm your head at the same time,
Hmm.
it's $15. It's free to those with cancer in honor of my sister, or
Hmm.
those going through remission. And it's on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. I mentioned Tuesday because I had to move it from Monday to Tuesday, which is
Gotcha.
today.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and we'll definitely make sure we get that out. And you ladies, make sure you follow her. And Marta, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed the conversation,
I did too.
and I thought this was beautiful. And thank you for listening. Okay.
Thank you for having me on, Gloria, and thank your little child for getting up on that pony.
Quit. I can't get on the horse, but I sure did get on that pony. And I went right around with the little pony and everything, but we're gonna try again. We're gonna try again. I need to
You just
stretch a little
inspired
bit.
me. I'm gonna book a horse riding. I haven't been on one
Girl,
in a while, so
girl, when you try it, take pictures and then
I I
I
will.
wanna see how hard you're laughing. When you when your belly is on his back.
I love it. I love it. Thank you
Have
so
a
much
good
for having
night.
me on.
Absolutely. Have a good night, okay?
You too.
All right, bye.